Okay, and yeah, thank you for the. I think my okay, she already recorded. Okay, start recorded. So as per instruction by my sister, she says kailangan pa daw na ako explain what Tea Time Thursday is. So welcome to Tea Time Thursdays. So Tea Time Thursdays is actually an event that started even before the pandemic. It's usually held at the service center, second floor at the Sunya Center. And basically, it's a play space for the foxes and their friends to talk about everything and anything that everyone would like to talk about, like from money to love to relationships to art to culture to wellness and self mastery tools and anything actually. So this is a space where everyone can share and talk about their knowledge in various areas. So now so I think that's clear what Tea Time Thursdays is, and let me now introduce you to our presenter. So our presenter today is very vocal and an avid fan of everything and anything Chinese, more so than me. Her upline in in Chinese stuff. She's so vocal that sometimes I just put my hands to my head because she's so funny. And today she'll be imparting with us the origin stories, the importance, and the significance of the Chinese tradition of celebrating the Mid Autumn Festival. So, which is also coincidentally, we're also celebrating the World Coffee Day. So, are your DXN coffees and beverages ready, like me? So, what DXN coffee are you drinking, guys? So, me today, I'm drinking my classic coffee. No black for me, not yet. So yeah, so help me welcome our speaker or presenter for today. Let's give a Shifu hand gesture to Miss Tina Liberty Salto.
Gosh,
Yay!
picture.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome introduction and awesome facilitating, Darlene, honoring and acknowledging you. Beside me is Paulo taking an exam. So,
Oh,
yeah. So I hope you won't be disturbed with what I'm gonna be sharing today. No, so, unta maka, anong basing mong cake yung matubag sa iyang ko. Exam, guys. Exam kay 360 ang camera.
yan eh.
Dapat 360 na ada camera diri na camera dito, so naa siya sa gawas kay makita niyan ano. So anyway, TMI. So thank you so much for that introduction, Darlene. And yes, we're gonna be sharing today about the Mid-Autumn Festival and the origins and its stories or legends that is attached to it, and also not just that, and parang the culture about it. And one thing to know, yes, nalingaw ka sa akong background, it's so Singapore, right? I think I remember a place here like this in Singapore. So, para ano lang kaayo. So, the Mid-Autumn Festival is actually a festival of moon worship in their culture. So, yeah, what else is possible? And let's start with my presentation. So, nag-play ko with this presentation. And wait lang ha. Okay. So, I hope you enjoy this. This is the legend of the Mid-Autumn Festival. Welcome to our Tea Time Thursdays. And the legend, it's also known as the Moon Festival or the Mooncake Festival. And to some countries, the Mooncake Festival, like sa Singapore, sa Taiwan, and Thailand, it's also known as the, what do you call that? It's also known as the Lantern Festival. So, pero it is not to be confused with the Lantern Festival because it's not to be confused with the Lantern Festival because China has a different Lantern Festival itself. Pero sa ibang countries, they call this the Lantern Festival. So, diba? So this is where the confusion about the festival comes from. Katong ako, kasi I used to travel during this time, like September, October, usually our company makes us travel at this time. And then, kanang and one of the questions that I have, ngano unsa din ning Mooncake Festival? Unsa din ni dagan lagi lantern? Ngano what is this all about? But then I never really had the urge to study what it was about until just recently, and I have so much fun about learning about this festival and what's the parang significance of this festival, no? So makisabay lang punta sa festival, no? So by the way, today pala is again October 1, 2020. It's the 15th day of the 8th month sa lunar calendar sa Chinese, okay? So that's it. So traditionally, yes, actually the moon festival talaga should fall on a full moon. That's why they have a different calendar. They have a lunisolar calendar, luna solar, whatever that is. So yon. Wait lang ha, I'm gonna move this. Mag-lisod ko kuan sa chat. Move. Okay, so this is a traditional festival celebrated by the Chinese, and this is the second most important festival after CNY or Chinese New Year, with a history of being celebrated for 3,000 years, during when China's emperors used to worship the moon for its bountiful harvests. So yun, lingaw jud kaayo ni ano. And then one of my questions were, unsa man yung mga symbols nga naa sa moon sa festival nila. So dagan kayo, 'di ba? They have the rabbit, they have the moon. You can see the moon cake. There's also tea. So that's why we also nalingaw mi ani na topic because it's related to our tea time. You know, one of the reasons we can enjoy our tea is because it's also the mooncake festival. So ang time of celebration, there's no specific date in the Gregorian calendar, but this festival is held on the 15th day of the 8th month of the Chinese lunisolar calendar with a full moon at night. So they really make sure that it's a full moon. It corresponds to mid-September to early October of the Gregorian calendar. So yeah, on this day, the Chinese believe that the moon is at its brightest and it's also the fullest, coinciding with harvest time in the middle of autumn. I think this is, yeah, hare moon or harvest moon. Yeah, they call this the harvest moon. So the meanings of the festival. So by the way, guys, you have to take a note because we have a trivia afterwards. So you might just win a Spikati and Zimint, okay? So yeah, so pay attention to my ako ang mga i-question later. Diba? So ang meaning ng festival is tatlo. It's a time where they gather. Usually this is called the reunion festival. They often, it's one of the reasons that they would gather as a family and to celebrate harmonious relationships with family, or kung bago mo gikasal, it's one of the ways that, you know, you go back to your family and they recognize their harmonious relationship. So yun. So it's one way of gathering. Another meaning of the festival is to give thanks. And we really love this because in the Fox tribe, we love being grateful. We love, we love giving thanks. So this is a celebration or a festival of Thanksgiving at the same time. And why do they give thanks? Because it corresponds with the time that they will harvest. So during this time, people harvest. So it's similar to my favorite festival here in the Philippines is Kadayawan, no? So partida, yes, it's like Kadayawan. I love Kadayawan kasi it's a festival of abundance, you know, and it's a celebration of bountiful harvest. So the Mid-Autumn Festival is similar because they celebrate their bountiful harvest and they give thanks to that. So it's gratitude for that. And then it's also to give thanks about the blessings that they have received, not just in the harvest, but the blessings in terms of whether they got harmonious relationship, kanang ilang family, kana siya. And also, it's a festival where they get to pray. Of course, we pray every day, but it's one of the festivals that they send out and give out wishes to people. Like there are customs na they would kiss you on the, if you are family, they would kiss their loved ones on the forehead and they send out kanang greetings, kanang like for example, I send you love, peace, and blessings. Tapos they will kiss the forehead. So those kind of traditions, no, they send out good wishes to people, whatever that is, whether it's um, yeah, a lot of that, whatever that is, a contribution to the person. So again, the meanings of the festival is gathering to gather the family and friends, or a way of reunion, and then Thanksgiving and praying. So these are one of the ways, or the three ways that you can celebrate the Moon Festival. So what's the legend, or hindi ko alam, hindi ko makita kasi. The history of the Mooncake Festival. So, maraming stories ang Mooncake Festival, but it's part of that is the moon worship. An important part of the festival celebration is their moon worship, because yung ancient Chinese, they believe in rejuvenation being associated with the moon and the water. And this is connected to the concept, to the menstruation of women, calling it the monthly water. So, diba? So, kung sino dyan ang nag-menstruate, so you're part of the celebration. But yes, kasi they have this fable sa China, wherein yung sun and moon are actually a couple, and then every time the moon is full, it means it's pregnant. And then pag half moon na siya, it means it gave birth to the stars. So, meaning anak nila yung stars. But of course, that's a fable, okay? So, that's why they also associate the moon with menstruation concept. So, another story of the Moon Festival is about Chang'e. Chang'e, paano ba pag-pronounce? Sorry, Chang'e, sino ang Chinese dyan? So, Darlene, maybe you can help me with the pronunciation of Chang'e. But it's really fun kasi yung name niya parang change in the English characters, no? So, but Chang'e is known as the moon goddess of immortality, and there are many stories and versions about Chang'e. So, if you can see, there's always a goddess tapos moon in their picture. And I always ask that question, anong na ang my goddess? Kinsa din na siyang baihan na. So, who's that girl? Who's that goddess? So, oh, mage di ay, gasakay siya sa moon. Yeah, so now you know, Chang'e. So, si Chang'e is the moon goddess of immortality. Why did she become the moon goddess? She used to be a mortal, no? So, mortal talaga siya. And this is actually a love story. A love story. This goes back to He Yi. Si He Yi is the husband of Chang'e. So, one version is they are already married, si Chang'e and He Yi. And then in the previous lifetime or previous times, there used to be 10 sons, meaning 10 yung son daw. Okay, the legend. There used to be 10 sons, and these 10 sons begin, you know, di ba, kung isang son mainit, paano na lang yung 10 son? Okay? So, eventually, the earth began to experience dehydration, or parang nag-dry up yung land and everything. So everybody was suffering. So si He Yi is is a hero in this story, and with his capacity kasi he cultivates, and his specialty is archery. So he shut down 9 of the 10 sons, meaning yung 9 sons pinana niya, and all 9 sons, you know, nawala sila, nag-disappear, and then only 1 son remained, of course, kasi kailangan pa rin natin ng son. So everybody was so amazed with He Yi, and began to revere him as a king. So, or as a hero. Yan. So my version na naging king siya, my version din na hero lang siya. And then meron siyang protege na ang pangalan ay si Pangmang or something. Meron siyang protege, and then this, kasi when he was so awesome, si He Yi, binigyan siya ng elixir of immortality, that when he will take it, or when he will ingest that elixir of immortality, he will automatically ascend as a god or an immortal. And at that time, ayaw niyang mahiwalay kay Chang'e kasi love niya. Di ba, syempre, pag mag-ascend siya, wala na siya sa earth. So, ayaw niya iwanan si Chang'e. So, ang ginawa niya, he gave the elixir of immortality to Chang'e for safekeeping. So, pinatago niya. But Peng Mang knows about this and Peng Mang wants to ascend as an immortal. So, on the 15th day of the 8th month, no? So, that's the mid-autumn, si Hoi went out to hunt. And then, when he went out to hunt, syempre naiwan si Chang'e sa bahay. So, Peng Mang tried to steal the elixir. And alam ni Chang'e na if awayin niya or if she will fight against Peng Mang, she will really lose kasi she's not cultivating and she's not a warrior. So, what she did is, ininom niya lang niya ang elixir. So, automatically, she flew high up. But because of her love for Hoi, she chose the moon as her parang doon na lang siya magstay because it's closer to the earth, no, it's closer to He. And then when He returned and found out what about what happened, he was so sad, but of course wala siyang magawa, nag-ascend ang kanyang wife. So what he did is he just nag-offer na lang siya ng nag-offer na lang siya ng favorite food ni Chang'e sa sa front yard, and parang he made an altar and just gave and prepared the favorite food of Chang'e, which is yung mooncake and a lot of fruits. So nag-serve na siya. Hindi pa siya nagpalipad ng lanterns. At that time, there was no lantern involved, but this is where the mooncake comes from. And then nakita niya yung shape ni Chang'e sa moon. So every time on that day, 15th day of the 8th month, he always offers that to the full moon kasi he knows that Chang'e is there. And then yung neighbors nila Hoi also followed suit, parang since Hoi is doing it, they also want to honor Chang'e as the moon goddess. And then from then on, they also start asking for good luck and protection after that, diba? So yan ang kanilang mga legends. Okay, so it's really interesting. And there's another version wherein Hoi is the kalaban. Okay, naging evil si Hoi, and then to prevent the evilness of Hoi, ininom ni Chang'e yung elixir. Basta it ended up with Chang'e drinking the elixir. So there are again many versions of this legend, no? So but ang ending talaga, ang pinaka consistent sa story is these three individuals, si Peng Mang, Chang'e, and Hoi. Sila yung so that's the reason why you can see a moon goddess with the images sa festival, sa mooncake or mid-autumn festival. So another story is this. So why do you see rabbits on the images, or bakit may mga rabbits sa rabbit image every time they greet you with Happy Moon Festival or Happy Mooncake Festival? Bakit may rabbit? So there's another fable called the Fox, the Monkey, and the Rabbit. So may tatlong animals. Yes, ito si fox, si monkey, at saka yung rabbit. And an immortal descended in front of them. No, so they were, I don't know, playing or something, but merong isang immortal na nag-descend and naghingi ng food sa kanila. Automatically, the fox and the monkey gave food kasi meron silang food, so they gave the food to the immortal. But then si rabbit, or the hare, or they call this the jade rabbit, the rabbit said, I am sorry, I don't have food. Sabi niya, wala siyang mabigay na food. So, what the rabbit did, but I'm gonna give myself to you. So, the rabbit jumped to the fire and parang niluto niya yung sarili niya para magkaroon ng food yung immortal. Of course, they didn't know at that time that the person in front of them was an immortal. So, afterwards, the hare or the rabbit was parang na-touch yung immortal sa kanya. So the rabbit was also granted an immortal status and became a goddess. So that's why you can see a lot of rabbit images because, again, it's associated with this festival. So the story or the legend talks about selflessness. So it's all about, being selfless. Ayun. So, wala lang. Cute yung story, yes. And another one, not so popular as them, but you can see si Wugang and the cherry bay tree. So daghan kaayo, 'di ba? Lahi pud si rabbit. Yes, ang fox kay manghatag ra gyud ang fox, 'di ba? So nalingaw gid ko sa ano, fox, monkey ug rabbit. So another story is Wugang. Yeah, 'di ba? So another story is si Wugang, and si Wugang naman is wanted to be an immortal. So gusto niya maging immortal pero tamad siya. He wants to be an immortal pero ayaw niya gawin yung the work that you need to do to become immortal. So what do you need to do to become immortal? So in their stories, if you want to become mortar and pestle. If you want to become an immortal, you need to cultivate. So what does cultivate means? Meaning you nurture and grow yourself into immortality, and that is one of the ways to nurture yourself is to master your mind, and one of that is meditation. So kani si Wugang, tamad siya. Gusto niya maging immortal pero tamad. So he is always asking for immortality status, but he doesn't want to do the work. He doesn't want to do Tai Chi or whatever that is, whatever martial arts he wants to, master himself on. Wala. He is tamad. So nasuko ang emperor. Ang heavenly emperor was so mad at him. He was is so mad at him and parang wanted to test him also. So what he did is, sige, bigyan kita kanang annoying man siya kay sige siya pangayog immortal status sumurag na sa mukha ng heavenly emperor. So kay dili lagi nila matagaan kung wala nagpractice. So what he did is the heavenly emperor planted a cherry bay tree that is so high, taas kaayo, and he asked Wugang to chop it. Dapat ma-chop niya. Kung ma-chop niya, tagaan daw siya og immortal status. So Wugang chopped it every full moon kanang every time daw every time he will try to chop it, the cherry bay heals itself kay ginahil din siya sa mga immortals or sa heavenly emperor. So definitely di niya matumba ang kahoy, but di ba gipatrabaho gyapon siya, guys. So ana siya. So and every time, di ba, you can see there's a shadow sa moon. So in China, they think that this is the cherry bay tree's shadow na gina-attempt pagyapon hantod karon ni Wugang. Kay dili gyud siya lagi mag-practice. So di ba? So maula na bisag unsaon nimo shortcut, you will still do the work. But di ba, sa shortcut niya nadugay na noon siya, di ba? So what else is possible? So that's the story of Wugang. So you still get to do the work, guys. So the development or the history and development of the Mid-Autumn, why it's called as such na kanang, di ba, those are the myth and fables associated with the festival. So during the Shang dynasty, so research gid ako kinsa ang nauna na dynasty. So among the naga-celebrate, no. So they started celebrating it during the Shang dynasty. That was 1600 to 1046 BCE. Followed by Western Zhou dynasty. And during the Western Zhou dynasty, ang term na Mid-Autumn became prominent. So they started calling it Mid-Autumn Festival during the Western Zhou dynasty. And then it gained more popularity during the Tang dynasty kasi si Emperor Xuanzong of Tang always celebrates it, and they said it's because Emperor Xuanzong visited the Moon Palace. I don't know if this is a real Moon Palace or it's a Moon Palace in other dimensions. I'm not sure about that. But they call it, after his visit to the Moon Palace, he started celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival more often. So that's why, diba, what in the past, whatever the emperor wants, the emperor, for example, sabihin ng emperor na holiday ito yung festival natin. So everybody started doing it. And they also said that during the Tang dynasty din nanggaling yung ng mooncake, because at that time he won a battle during the Mid-Autumn Festival, and then he was presented with a mooncake, and then yung mooncake, parang before he ate the mooncake, he offered the mooncake to the moon and said parang congratulations, something, celebrated it with the moon, and then he ate the cake. And so that's the reason why everybody now serves mooncake. So dyan daw galing. And then Yung giving of mooncake started during the Song Dynasty, that is around 906 to 1279 CE. And during the 19th century, it became even more popular kasi si Empress Dowager Cixi would stage an elaborate play, maraming mga plays or festival for 1 week isa-celebrate nila. And bongga ang pagka-celebrate. So hindi siya ano lang, nag-celebrate tayo. So she really makes elaborate theater plays and stage acts for the Mid-Autumn Festival. So this is parang the development of why they are celebrating it as a culture, yung Mid-Autumn Festival. So what are the mga cultures and traditions? So if you can see, they're also doing incense burning during the Moon Festival. So they would burn incense sa altar or even float candles and incense and ano sa river. No? So they have that. And another tradition is to do dragon and lion dance performance. And also, if you can see, there's a lot of lanterns. Kaya sometimes other countries, they call it the Lantern Festival. But again, just to let you know, there's a different lantern festival in China. So, hindi siya yun. But in other countries, they call the Mid-Autumn Festival as the Lantern Festival because they have a lot of lanterns. And these lanterns are actually shaped as like what they see in nature. So they have fish-shaped lantern, and then they also have traditions na so para sa mga bright, they will paint riddles on the lantern, and then ibutang nila, for example, ako, magpalit ko og, I will buy a lantern, and then I would post a riddle, and then after posting the riddle, I will place it on the ang tawag yan, sa bentahan, and then someone will pass by and answer the riddle, and if you answer the riddle, the lantern is yours. So that's how they give. It's so nice. I like it because I see it in mga series. They do that, and that's how they date. Very intelligent. They will answer riddles and they will give the lantern for you. So bright sila. So another one, very, very, very popular is, of course, it's not a mooncake festival without a mooncake. No? So the round, okay. Hindi ko matanggal ang chat. Wait lang guys. Okay, there you go. So the round mooncakes are symbols of the great family reunion, just like the round leme mooncakes are becoming more and more popular, and the variety of flavors has turned them into gifts for friends and relatives. And I always wondered, bakit iba-iba yung image? Anong meaning ng image sa mooncake? Meron bang significance? Ganyan-ganyan. So actually, artistic lang talaga ang pagkagawa. So it doesn't matter what kind of image that you're eating. Like for example, they place rabbit sa mooncake sa art part of the mooncake is minsan rabbit, minsan lantern, minsan ano. So whatever is associated with the festival of the mooncake, that's what they paint, or not paint, that's what they design or decorate it with, no? So they why do they call mooncake? Kasi bakit mooncake ang kanilang symbol? For them, the Chinese language, in the Chinese language, yung round has the same pronunciation as reunion. So that's why they use mooncakes as a symbol for reunion. So whenever you give out mooncakes to your friends or your family, you're parang signifying your harmonious relationship with them. So making and sharing mooncakes is again one of the hallmark traditions of this festival. And in Chinese culture, a round shape symbolizes completeness and reunions. Thus, the sharing and eating of round mooncakes among family members during the week of the festival signifies the completeness and unity of families. So another mooncake tradition in some areas naman in China, merong tradition of making mooncakes during the night. So sa gabi ng Mid-Autumn, they will make it. And then the senior or the elder person in the household would cut the mooncake into pieces and then distribute them to each family member, again signifying their reunion. However, sa modern times, making the mooncake at home has given way to the popular custom of giving mooncakes to family members. So yung iba wala nang time to make, so they just buy and then just give it to their family members. So other foods associated with the Mooncake Festival is the 9 joined lotus roots, which symbolize peace, and watermelon carved with lotus. That symbolizes reunion. So they also serve watermelon, and then they carve lotus in that symbol to symbolize reunion. And of course, the flower that is growing on that season is the cassia wine. So they give out also cassia wine. It's their traditional wine for reunion. Of course, tea is included in such festivals. Okay, so yeah, that's why. By the way, this portion is sponsored by Saika Tea. Wait, okay. So enjoying tea and chatting with family and friends while waiting for the moon. So one of the ways that they di na ako ma-mute sa tip. Okay. So one of the ways that they use tea is kasi part of the moon celebration is to wait and watch for the full moon. So inaantay nila yung full moon. And then while waiting outside, they will have tea and then the moon cake and then they will chika sa parlor and talk to each other. So that's why enjoying tea and chatting with family and friends while they wait for the moon to come out. And so just to introduce to you, one way to celebrate tonight is, having your 5 herbs tea is this Pica tea from DXN. It has 5 herbs. Meron siyang self-heal herb. It's based also in Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine. Wait lang talaga. Bakit hindi ko siya Okay. So, spica is a self-heal herb or shakukan, and it's good for heat clearing and detoxification. And then of course, it has Ganoderma lucidum, and it boosts your immunity and it fights your tiredness. So if you're having parang panggaling ka sa travel, so it's really nice to have the spica tea. And then it has gangkao or licorice. It harmonizes the herbs. So kasi 5 yung herbs sa spica tea, it needs licorice so that all the herbs will work together. And licorice is also good to stop cough, expels phlegm, and alleviates pain. So it's really nice during this season, which is the COVID season. So it's really nice to always have your spica tea beside you. And then we have tangerine peel in the mix of spica tea, and it's also called chen tea, and it circulates your stomach chi, and it's really perfect for a person like me who often get a lot of hanging in the tummy. So, I get a lot of heat in the tummy, and then so that's why spica tea always helps ease the heat. And it also lessens severity of nausea and vomiting. So if you are nauseous or if you want to vomit, spica tea is awesome. And then peppermint or bohe, it eases digestive upsets and relieves menstrual cramps. So during the full moon, kung merong mga nagme-menstruate during the full moon, spica tea is nice to ease your menstrual cramps. And it also improves sleep and treats common cold. So there are so many details about this spica tea, but of course, I'm just going to run through it today. Meaning, if you're having your mooncake, it's also nice to pair it with your spica tea. So another fun tip that you can do with our spica tea is this can actually be served as soup. Pwede din siyang isabay sa sabaw. You can, pwede siyang i-boil, no? And then you can drink it. And then lagyan mo siya ng jujube. Okay? Yes, and other whatever herbs that you will add it with. So it's really nice. And what we do in the Fox tribe is because the taste of spica tea, it's really a tea, and it has little mild to no taste, no, ang kanyang, kaya maganda siyang i-mix kasi mild to no taste ang kanyang taste. Mild to no taste ang kanyang taste. So, so what we do is we mix Roselle because Roselle is awesome for cough. It's also good hangover if you're drinking. So it's a good hangover hangover juice. It also promotes urination and it counteracts the toxicity. So if you are in a big celebration, so it's really nice to have Spikati and Roselle with it. And it promotes production of body fluids. And if you're very thirsty due to the heat or nagkaroon ng sunstroke. So Roselle is awesome. And then of course we mix it with Zimint to give it a minty feel. So Zimint is awesome for throat irritation, coughs, colds, oral health, and good breath. Ayun. So yes, that's it. Pansit for the whole legend of the Mid-Autumn Festival. And just to give you, ayun, mooncake and tea. I'm hungry now. Me too. Hindi dumating ang aming mooncake. Nag-order kami sa Engbitin. Kaya mong tang i-present diri ka nang iana-ana ang mooncake. Wala. Maybe this Saturday, we will have an extended mooncake fest. So, yeah, if I hope Lazada will send it to me, the mooncake. So, yan. Kasi, yun na nga. So, I will just show you a video. Wait, about the Moon Festival. So I'm gonna stop recording now. Thank you for listening.